Hi guys, and welcome back to the Mind of a Writer. This week I'm looking at a two-part episode which will be how to develop your story, and this can be split into two separate parts. Firstly, because the first part is developing the plot and story, and the second developing the characters. And developing the characters will be coming next week, as we are going to start with plot and story. So, the first thing I think you should look at when you're writing a story or you want to write a book is to decide what story you want to tell. Because, in my opinion, it's always best to know your story before you start writing it. Yes, things will change. Things always do as you're writing, but you need to have some sort of outline in your mind of where it's going. So, I'm going to use some personal examples in this, and I will on characters as well. Because, well, I can't say how other authors decided what they were going to write, but for me, with my book, which is called Shadow's Lair, I wanted to write a story about good and evil, and about, I'll just leave it at that for now because of the next point, but I wanted to write a story about good and evil, so it's a bit deeper than that, but I kind of designed the story around the concept, and that's basically it. So the second point is, why do you want to tell this story? Is there a reason you're writing this? Do you just want to tell a good story, or both? Now, for me, it was both. I don't do message fantasy. I don't like message fantasy. I think it sounds like it's preaching. But I chose to write my story about good and evil because I don't believe good and evil exists. Okay, that's what I meant by it's about good and evil, but it's not about good and evil at the same time. So my personal belief is I don't believe in good and evil whatsoever. I believe in opinion and consequence, action and consequence, beliefs, stuff like that. I don't believe anyone is truly good or truly evil, and that is why I wanted to tell my story. A lot of people disagree with me, but still, that's just my opinion. The next piece of advice I would give is to pick a genre. And by genre, if anybody doesn't know, genres are things like whether you're writing fantasy, historical fiction, contemporary, romance, stuff like that. They're the genres. Well, they're not the only genres, but they're some of them. Sci-fi. You don't have to stick to it. But I think if you pick a genre, it can just help ground the story to begin with, and it will kind of ground where you're going with the story. So I would definitely say try and pick a genre. My genre is dark fantasy, and that is my specialised genre, but it's what's helped me with it, because you kind of think, because I picked fantasy at first and it didn't work, so you can branch out to it, which is why I ended up in a subgenre. But that's another thing I'm thinking of doing is advice on genre, but the fourth point, and I think this is one of the best pieces of advice I was given, which is why I'm giving it, is to know the ending. Every journey has a destination, so you need to know where you're going before you fill in the details. I would suggest writing the beginning and the end before you fill in the middle. Even if it's a 5-part series, write the beginning of the first book and the end of the last book, and then make the trip. You can change the end, of course, and it will alter as the story alters and you get different ideas, but it's always good to know where your story is going. So next, pick a setting. You need to know your setting. You need to know the world of your book like you know the back of your hand. If I picked you up and dropped you in it, I would expect you to be able to find your way around and get out again. I'm not going to say much about my world on this one because it's mine. And finally, I've had a couple of people say to me, what do I do if I don't have any ideas? I would say just write anyway. Just write about anything. One thing, a piece of advice I'm going to give, a lot of people will laugh at it, but try it. Try it and see what you come out with. You can keep laughing at it afterwards if you want, but try to write about a man going to the supermarket and see what happens to him. I know it sounds stupid, it really, really does, but that's a story and you're writing it, and the more you write, the better you'll get. I honestly believe that. The more you write, the better you'll get. And it is better to start small than to start by trying to write The Lord of the Rings, if you know what I mean. Yeah, just if you are doing the trip to the supermarket, just remember to decide what he's going to buy at the end first. Yeah, so I hope that helps. Join me next week when we'll look at character. And yeah, character can be an interesting one. But yeah, do let me know if you like me putting in the personal bits from my own writing or not. And I'll see you later, guys. Bye!